What is the most bulletproof advice your dad ever gave you? There will always be someone who is better than you at something. Don't marry a mean woman no matter how beautiful she is, because one day the looks will be gone, but the personality won't be. If she is getting paid with tips, flirting is just a part of her job description. I was headed off to basic military training. My dad said, don't stand out. Don't be a screw-up because people will hate you. Don't be exceptional, because people will want to delight in watching you fail. Be in the middle. When your name is mentioned, they should say, who's Ermanekiril one? He also said years later you will look back and mostly remember the funny things that happened in basic. He was right about both. I miss my dad. Mine gave me similar advice. He said, keep your mouth shut and your eyes and ears open. Stand in the middle of the line, and never volunteer for anything. The best place to find a helping hand is at the end of your arm. I remember a line Zoidberg said, I help those that help themselves. It confused me for many years, but I finally get it. It is futile to try to help someone who refuses to change. You can only offer encouragement at that point. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. It sounds so cliché, but I always remember it when I'm trying to help someone that doesn't want to be helped. If you're gonna be stupid, be smart about it. Context: he was explaining to me that everything has consequences. Know the consequences first before making any decision. Both the good and the bad. If you understand the consequences, it'll be easier to accept a punishment later on because you already knew about it. Your heart, your head, and your dick will give you conflicting advice on what to do. Listen to your gut. Life's unfair, but it's usually been unfair in your favor, so quit whining. Don't do meth. Everything else you can experiment with, but for fuck's sake do not try meth. Hasn't failed me yet. Never assume. I used to make a lot of assumptions, and they would screw me over in the long run. Finally, I took his advice. Whenever I begin to assume anything, I take a step back and seek clarification. My dad quoted Buddy Ryan, then coach for the Eagles, who I'm sure got it from someone else. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. If you own and run a business, always take care of your employees. If you have to choose between payroll and electric, always choose payroll. My dad has owned quite a few very successful businesses and has had employees for decades. He protects and respects his workers, and they protect and are loyal to the business. Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. Not sure where it came from, but I see it on Merck every once in a while now as well. Don't work harder than your colleagues. It won't make your colleagues or managers appreciate you. It won't give you a higher salary. It won't make you happier. All it results in is you getting all the work, because you're the sucker they can dump it on. Always make your own money and never find yourself financially or emotionally dependent on anyone else. And always have the means to leave a relationship the minute something goes wrong. I'm my dad's only girl, and it saved me from being stuck in an abusive relationship or ever getting caught up in thinking I had to stay in the first place. My dad wasn't very present in my childhood, so the next best thing I had was my grandpa. As a little girl, he would always tell me, don't play with stupid. Basically meaning don't bother trying to reason with a stupid person. And if someone is going to do something you feel is stupid or will end badly, get the hell out of Dodge. My grandpa is a half-German, Vietnam War vet, and has no patience for bullshit. He has tons of advice like this. Don't get in a fight, but if you do, make sure to be the one who hits first. Still gets me. If you can see the problem, you can find the solution. Makes me at least try and improve the things that I can control when life goes tits up. Don't be afraid to kiss a cop's ass. If satisfying their ego keeps you alive, so be it. They're the one with the gun. I'm black, and grew up in a decent area of SoCal. And I always wondered why my dad got pulled over while driving his Mercedes. He told me that one time, while the cop was checking if the car that had custom plates, registered to my dad, was stolen. You pick your friends. You can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. The original dad advice: if you make a mistake, fix it immediately. The longer you wait, the more people will hear about it, and your name will be linked to the mistake forever in their minds. Fix it right away and your name will be linked to the solution. 2 rules to life. Life isn't fair. You don't get to know all the rules. The fastest way to make somebody do their job is to make not doing their job so unpleasant that they'd rather do their job than deal with you. I'm not an asshole, so I only use this particular nugget of advice in extreme situations. But when I've been in those extreme situations, it's been invaluable. Travel as much as you can. He loved to travel, and it's only now I am older I have realized how great that advice was. Life's a shit sandwich. The more bread you have, the less shit you've gotta eat. You've got to be smarter than the machine. Basically, all the tools we use, wrench, toaster, computer, are just that, tools. The true ingenuity, creativity, and problem solving comes from the people using them. Also, if it breaks, you should be smart enough to fix it. He was a handyman. There are going to be good years and bad years. Just do all that you can to try to make sure that you still finish the bad years a little ahead of where you started. Also, Beavis and Butthead is a valuable documentary about teen relationships. If you ever find yourself trying to understand a 15-year-old boy, just ask, what would Beavis do? You'll probably find your answer. My dad had a great sense of humor, and the only advice I can honestly remember him ever giving me was always buy girls' sweaters one size too small. Don't ever pick a fight, but if you find yourself in one, blouse his nose. Any punk will stop when his nose is broken and bleeding. Said when we'd moved for the 20th time and kids at school were being typical kids, and again when I got married. If you own a thing, you need to know how to fix it, even if you choose to pay someone to fix it. Said while teaching me to rotate tires, change oil, repair plumbing, hang trusses, etc. Early is on time. On time is late. If you haven't guessed yet, he was career military. I have 6 sisters. I don't expect you always to be a lady, but try to act like one. Don't embarrass me, but more importantly, don't embarrass yourself. Maybe odd out of context, but coming from a place of concern for self-respect. Whatever you do, do what you want. It's your life, not your mother's, not your sister's. And don't be afraid to disappoint anyone, since you'll always have my support, even if I don't approve it.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, smile. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, smile.